Hello class, my name is Professor Jefferson and I would like to take this time to welcome you all to another instructional video segment for Administering Client Desktops 304. To review, in last week's instructional video segment, we learned and practiced how to install an operating system, or OS, on your computer. We were able to complete the installation for all three current operating systems that are being used today in the world of work and at home. These three platforms are Windows XP, Windows Vista, and Windows 7. On the practice computer or virtual PC that was provided for you in class, make sure that you get plenty of practice installing and removing each of these operating system platforms using the step-by-step methods that were provided for you in last week's video segment. Also remember that the step-by-step directions are located again in your student Dropbox. In this week's instructional video segment, we will be learning step-by-step how to create user accounts within each operating system and to also check to see if the account is properly installed and working properly as well. A user account gives you, the individual, so to say, your own personal space to take advantage of the functions, the resources, and applications that are either installed on your computer or that have been installed for you. A user account also establishes the relationship between a user and the computer, network, and the information services that are provided. Each user account is assigned a username and a password in order to maintain a level of security from all other users. For personal computers, there are typically two types of accounts, standard and administrator. A standard user is typically prevented from installing applications or downloading programs, but an administrator account has full control over their computer. At the finish of today's lesson, I will provide you all with the website link to today's information, and also I will download the step-by-step directions in your Dropboxes for you to use at any time. Today we'll be focusing on standard users and administrator accounts. So, let's take a look at the following. Now let's take a look at the steps for creating new user accounts and creating new passwords and to check and make sure that the accounts were created properly. Today we'll be using Windows 7 and Vista, both, and they're really comparable. And in the smaller box here is the Windows XP screen. So I have them both split. My virtual machine has the Windows XP, and the bigger normal screen has the Windows 7. We're going to do them both together because I want to let you take a look at how each accounts are created in both platforms. Okay. So we start with step number one. Step number one, we're going to click on the Start icon. We're going to bring up the Start menu. Okay? In the Start menu, you'll see Control Panel. This is where we want to go to create our new users. Find the Control Panel, click on the Control Panel. That's in Windows 7. And then I'm going to go to Windows XP and find Control Panel and click there too. This will then bring up the Control Panel Center. In the Control Panel Center, we're going to find and click on the User Accounts icon. User Accounts icon looks like two people standing next to each other, and it has the words User Account under it, so you won't mistake it. So here on Windows 7, User Accounts down there, and then Windows XP User Accounts here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on both. Okay, and click on that one. Go back to user accounts. Sometimes it jumps. Okay, so I'm going to click on user accounts. So here we bring up the user accounts control center, or called the UAC. So from here, we're going to stop and take a look at Windows XP first. Windows XP, you can go straight to create new account. By clicking on that, you're already started to create new account. But in Windows 7 or Windows Vista, you see you have to take an additional step. In order to create an account, new account, you have to click on Manage Another Account. So now, with both accounts, you are at the same window for both platforms. So here, I'm going to go ahead and click on Create New Account. Create New Account. Alright, so we clicked on Create New Account, and it brings up the Name the New Account windows for both platforms, Windows 7 and Windows XP. Let's take a look at the Windows 7 window. Windows 7 window has where you can name your account, but it takes it a step further. Here you can choose whether you want to use a standard user or an administrator user for this account. So we want to choose administrator because we want this person to have full rights or full access to their computer. So I'm going to go ahead and name on the Windows 7 James Johnson. Okay? Then I'm going to go ahead in Windows XP and do the same. I'm going to go James Johnson. Alright, so we got the same name for both accounts. Alright, now we move right along. We're going to, in Windows 7, we can go ahead and create the account, but we have to go to Windows XP because they want you to take a next step. So the next step would be to click Next, and here in the next window, pick an account type window. You may choose whether you want it to be a regular user, which is limited, called limited in Windows XP, or a computer administrator. So it's already chosen for us. We're going to keep it computer administrator. So in both windows, we're going to go ahead and create account Windows 7. We're going to go ahead and create account Windows XP. Alright, so now we have those accounts created. As you can see, there's James Johnson in Windows XP, and there's James Johnson in Windows 7. So we still need to give them a password. So what we do is we go ahead and click on, in Windows XP, the actual James Johnson account. And it says, what do you want to change about James Johnson's account? Well, we want to create a password. So I'm going to click on Create a Password here. I'm going to type in, I don't want it to be too elaborate. I'm just going to type in JJ. Okay, and then it asks you to confirm that password in the next box, and we're going to type in JJ. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead, pan down, and say Create Password here. And as you can see here, it says James Johnson, Computer Administrator, Password Protected. Okay, so let's move on to the Windows 7 machine. So we go here. Again, I clicked on James Johnson, and it says Make changes to James Johnson's account. Well, we want to create a password. So we go to Create a Password. We click on Create a Password, and we do the same thing. We go JJ, and we go down here and we go JJ. We type in JJ. Okay? So, we have our passwords, and we want to create the password. Oh, it's saying the passwords don't match. Oh, so I'm sorry. I skipped the account or a step there. I'll go back. So we're going to go Create New Password, JJ, and we're going to go Confirm New Password, JJ. All right, now we're on track. I'm sorry about that. So then we go and we say Create Password, and it says here again in the Windows 7 platform, James Johnson, Administrator, Password Protected. Okay, so now we are done. We created the accounts. We're now done with creating the accounts, but now we're not finished. We do have to go back in and make sure that both accounts were created properly, which means we have to actually go into the accounts to make sure everything's working. So what we're going to do, I'm going to start with the Windows XP machine. I'm going to X out of everything. X means you're going to close out of these windows. So I'm going to close out of all of these windows. They're closed out. I'm going to go ahead and log off. Okay, so you're going to start again and go to log off. So I'm logging off of my account or the original account. And now I'm going to go ahead and try to get in James Johnson's account. So what we're going to do in username, I'm going to type in James Johnson. And then I'm going to go to JJ, which is the password. That's what we created. So we're going to click OK to see if it works. And as you can see, We're now in JJ. We're opening up JJ's new account that was created, James Johnson. And everything's working fine. Start menu, control panel, everything's up and running. It creates the new internet, your icon, so it's ready to go. All right? So, with that being done, we are done. We checked that. Windows XP is done. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of Windows XP, the virtual machine, now that we're done with that. Okay, I'm closing it out. Move that to the side. Now we're going to go to the Windows 7 account. So I'm going to X out of that Windows 7 platform. And we're going to go the same way. We're going to go to the arrow next to the shutdown. So it starts Start menu, shutdown, arrow. Then there's our log off under the arrow. The arrow provides us with a drop-down list, and the list will show you where to log off. So we're going to click on log off, and I'm going to wait till we log off here. Okay, and when we log off, it should show us James Johnson. So there's 3 accounts. There's an administrator account, there's my own personal account, and there's James Johnson's account. So I'm going to go James Johnson. I'm going to type in JJ. That was our password. We're going to go ahead and click on the arrow which says we want to log in. And it should open us up to welcome. Okay? Go ahead and wait till that's up and running. Everything should be, well, it's preparing our desktop. It's preparing to make sure that all the icons are working and the screen is working. So here we have James Johnson's account. There it is, James Johnson. And everything seems to be working. It's Start menu. We have your VAS. Anything that was installed on the computer will work and pop up. So it seems to be functioning properly. So we did complete that, and we're going to go ahead and log off of that again. Okay? Now, we are done, and this basically concludes our creation of both accounts in XP and Windows 7 or Vista. Okay? And as I promised, I have already uploaded the step-by-step document for creating the user accounts, passwords, in your Dropboxes. And lastly here, I'm going to go ahead and provide you the link for today's lesson so that you will have it to download whenever you need it. Okay, the link will show you where to go on the websites to find the specific information. And the link is also in your Dropboxes along with the step-by-step directions. So I'm going to go here. Website link is on my desktop already. So if you look, I'm going to open it up for you so you can see. For creating an account in XP, if you want, give you some time to copy that link down, and that will take you to directions for creating a new user account in XP. And then at the bottom here, for creating new user accounts in Windows Vista and Windows 7. Take a look at those links and write them down if you need them, or you can just simply download them from your Dropboxes if you need them in the future. Okay? So this concludes our step-by-step lesson for today. Make sure you get lots of practice. And with these, if you download the video, please practice as I go along, and it'll get easier and easier every time you practice. In conclusion, for today's instructional video lesson, I mentioned before that we should all make sure you take advantage of lots of practice, utilize the instructional videos as much as possible, and really make sure you download the step-by-step instructions and the website links that are located in your student Dropboxes. Again, I want to take this time to say thank you for joining me, and tune in for next week's instructional video. We will see you soon.